Morning and welcome to the Malawi MEBinaire. It's the 8th MEBinaire collection SEMA, a great collaboration with a club of Monégasque entrepreneurs in Africa. And it's the first dedicated to an English-speaking African country. A new area, new opportunities for our companies. Malawi is 20 million inhabitants, an economy with a strong agricultural sector. Attractive measures dedicated to investors have been implemented. They will be described in details during this MEBinaire. With Monaco's strong connections to Africa, this MEBinaire will showcase an array of high-caliber speakers. First of all, Her Excellency Dr. Naomi Mkandawire, Malawi's ambassador to Brussels, accredited to Belgium, France, Monaco, Italy, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and the European Union. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
We will also have Mr. Richard Chipatula with the Deputy Ambassador. Welcome. We'll also have the Ministry, from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Deputy Director of Investment, Mr. Diamond Chikhasu. Hello, Mr. Chikhasu. Then we'll have the Malawi Investment and Trade Center, Mr. Paul Kwengwere, CEO of the Malawi Investment and Trade Center, and Mrs. Stella, Director of Investment Promotion and Facilitation. They will all going to explain you the pros and cons, but more the pros, of course, of investing and working in Malawi. Now, I'm going to give the floor to my partner and friend, partner of the SEMA, Mr. Frédéric Gertz. You're to speak.
Thank you, Guillaume, for this introduction. It's a pleasure for us, the SEMA. We had recently the opportunity to meet again Excellence Naomi Mkandawire in the Ambassadors Day European Union in Brussels. And so today it's a great day for the presentation of Malawi in Monaco. It's important that we could benefit from a first overview of Malawi, and the team is excellent to do it today. It is relatively unknown to our SEMA members. Nyasaland, as it is the name of origin of Malawi, is for many discovery today. The country is landlocked between Mozambique, Tanzania, and Zambia. It is a country of 110,000 square kilometers, which is a major agri and nature reserve, thanks to, in particular, its fabulous lakes and also the richness of the fauna. So for sure, the environment and its preservation is undoubtedly one of the Principality's main area of focus. Today, we'll be also analyzing if there are business opportunities for us, Monaco companies, in different sectors, agribusiness, mining and minerals, maybe services. What about hotel and resorts, hospitality, and also logistics, because the country is not so easy in terms of access. So I will give you the word immediately to Mr. Richard Chipatula, Deputy Ambassador of Malawi Embassy in Brussels and European Union. Richard, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introductory remarks. And indeed, we are so excited that this webinar is taking place today. The Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Malawi, Honorable Nase Tembo, was supposed to officiate at this webinar. Unfortunately, due to other engagements, she's unable to do so. So in her place, Her Excellency Dr. Naomi Mkandawire, Ambassador to the Kingdom, Ambassador of Malawi to the Kingdom of Belgium, and a permanent representative to the European Union, will be making the remarks on her behalf. So at this juncture, I would like to invite Ambassador Mkandawire to make opening remarks at this webinar. Over to you, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Deputy Ambassador. I am making these remarks, opening remarks on behalf of my minister. And she would have liked to be here, but other engagements have taken her away. But let me welcome you to this webinar, the Malawi Monaco webinar this morning. I'm very happy to be here. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Rose of the Monaco Economic Board, to Mr. Gertz of CIMA and all members of CIMA. And also thank you to all senior officers from the Malawi government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is exciting that the Monaco Economic Board and CIMA are showing interest to explore trade and investment opportunities in Malawi. So our meeting today symbolizes a significant step on that direction and strengthening ties between Malawi and Monaco. I must admit that for most people, Monaco is, at least for me, is associated with fun, with tourism, with a good life, to put it. And so there's some fantastical idea about Monaco. And I think it's good that we can come here and say that it is also a possible source of investment and trade. I think this is significant to go beyond the sort of fantasy that people have about Monaco to the real hard stuff of trade and investment. So thank you very much for coming forward that we can have this webinar. Now, let me assure you that we are ready to showcase the opportunities in Malawi, but we also want to provide insights into the political and socioeconomic landscape that positions our country as a secure, favorable destination for trade and investment. So it is my hope that at the end of this meeting, you will be persuaded of the potential and the promise that Malawi holds for your business ventures. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to emphasize two things in my short remarks. The first one is that to our esteemed potential partners in Monaco, I want to assure you that we are committed to offering you very comprehensive information to assist your investment decisions. We are accessible. We will address and act upon subsequent questions. We'll provide any, attend to any additional inquiries after this webinar today. So it is crucial that we maintain the dialogue beyond this event. This webinar today is just the beginning of an ongoing conversation which will lead to more such events, but also to more trade and investment in Malawi. Secondly, we look forward to welcoming you to Malawi in person. So we should go beyond webinars, beyond discussions, to actually meeting in person. As the Chinese would say, seeing once is better than hearing 100 times. So we are hoping to welcome you to Malawi, to give you a first-hand understanding and appreciation of the business environment that Malawi offers, and to receive or to welcome you to make investments in Malawi. Now, I know that the CEO will say more, and also the official from the Ministry of Trade. So I'll not take up much time. I am also going to be very keen to listen to what goes on, and particularly to the questions that are being asked by our partners from the board and from CIMA. But I'm hoping very confidently that these discussions will pave way for very tangible investments in Malawi. And once again, let me say thank you for being available to have this webinar. And I'm wishing all of us fruitful discussions. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ambassador. Your Excellency. I've just realized that I forgot to introduce Mr. Justin Hyman, who is going to speak for the Monaco Economic Board and be able to animate the Q&A. Hello, Justin.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Guillaume.
I let you pass the word to the next participant. Thank you, Justin. So
Richard?
the participant, yes.
For the presentation.
Yes.
Veuillez consulter la section d'aide de votre application Sunbox.
Richard, maybe we can introduce Mr. Diamond Chikhasu, Paul and Stella for the presentation, MITC, the general overview.
All right. No, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Excellency, for setting the pace and the direction for our discussion this morning. At this juncture, I would like to introduce the panelists that are going to make the presentation on the general overview of Malawi's investment regime. The first to lead the presentation will be Mr. Diamond Chikhasu, who is the Deputy Director responsible for investment, and he will be supported by Mr. Paul Kwengwere, who is the CEO for Malawi Investment Promotion Agency. So at this juncture, I would like to invite Mr. Chikhasu to make the presentation first, and then he will hand over to Mr. Paul Kwengwere. Thank you very much. Mr. Paul Kwengwere, Mr. Chikhasu, please, you have the floor.
I guess you can see the presentation.
Yes.
We can see, and when you want to flip to the next page, just say next.
Yes, just next.
Next.
Not clicking. Next.
I'm not sharing the screen.
Okay, maybe I should stop sharing from here.
I thought, Justin, you are sharing.
Yeah, let it be shared from that.
Yeah,
yes.
Benoit, yeah, here we are. Let's go.
Okay.
Next
All
page.
Right. Yeah, thank you so much, Your Excellency, and all the distinguished delegates in this meeting. Possibly this information is just about Malawi. The first slide is about Malawi. It's a population of 20 million people. And our GDP growth has been constrained right now. For 2022 figures was 0.9. I think this is due to the number of challenges we had in the past 3 years. And that small figure is not alarming. I guess it's because of the predicament we have passed through over the 3 years. So this is a more agro-based economy where agriculture contributes about 23% of the GDP. And our primary exports are basically tobacco, tea, coffee, and sugar. Those are the major Malawi exports, being an agrarian economy. However, the emerging value chains we have are oilseeds, macadamia nuts, and legumes. These are the potential investors who would want to venture into these sectors, would bring the necessary transformation to the economy through these identified value chains. And we have investment opportunities available in agriculture, tourism, mining. Right now, we are talking about ATM strategy as a priority, notwithstanding the energy challenges and the manufacturing sectors being also major sectors of interest for investors. Next, please. Next. Yeah, so now looking at the regulatory framework, legal and regulatory framework. Malawi have a long-term policy, what we are calling the Malawi 2063. It's an inclusive, wealth, and self-reliant industrialized. It's to see Malawi being an inclusive and wealthy and self-reliant industrialized upper middle country by the year 2023. So that's the aspiration of this long-term policy document. And the document prioritizes or has 3 pillars: agricultural productivity and commercialization. Being an agrarian economy, we can't run away from the agricultural sector. Then we are looking at also going to the industrialization gear. After increased production and commercialization in agriculture, we need to add value to our products. So the element of industrialization is coming in handy, and anchored by the mining sector and the energy sector in the industrialization sector. And the other pillar is about urbanization. We are looking at including development of secondary cities in Malawi. So there are sites which have been identified for development of secondary cities in Malawi. So it will require substantial investments to transform the same. So the long-term policy is being implemented using 10-year medium-term implementation plans. Right now, we have one that started in 2021 to 2030, what we call it MEB1. Next slide, please. Coupled with that, we have sectoral policies which are meant to encourage investments in Malawi. So we have the national investment policy, which we are about to conclude. We will complete it this year. All the consultations and everything else were done, and we are yet now to submit to Cabinet for approval. So this policy document will guide investment promotion, facilitation, protection, among others. So the sectors guided by sectoral policies and strategies, this investment policy is more of an anchor document. Below that, we have sectoral policies like energy policy and master plan. We have tourism policy and master plan. We have national agriculture policy and the national agriculture investment plan. And we have also secondary cities development plan. So these are some of the sectoral policies falling under the national investment policy, which will encourage investors in the country. Next slide. Yeah, investment promotion and facilitation is regulated by Investment and Export Promotion Act. Previously, it was 2012, but now, since 2 weeks ago, it has been revised. Now we have a new act, 2023 Act, and the provisions of issuance of investment and export certificates. The act is under review. Sorry, this statement I think should go. It was under review basically to incorporate the provisions of one-stop service center. In the previous act, this one-stop service center under Malawi Investment and Trade Center was not well supported legally, but the new act has this provision well captured. And we also have the public-private partnership. Partnerships are regulated by the Private Partnership Act of 2022. This is the act that will, whenever you want to have to partner, to undertake public partnership investments, and this agreement will come handy to facilitate that type of investments. We have also sectorals that are important in the various sectors, including Energy Regulations Act, Electricity Act, Tourism and Hotel Act, Mining Act, and the Financial Services Act. So these are some of the regulatory frameworks that are available. They are meant to facilitate investment in various sectors. Next slide. And equally to other regulatory frameworks, we have these as business Business Registration Act, which will facilitate your investment in Malawi, business registration in Malawi. Companies Act will also do the same. When it comes to immigration, we have the Immigration Act, and for business residence permits, temporary employment, and whatever can come in, it will be handled under Immigration Act. We have issues of taxation as well as Customs Act will be handled under those acts. Business Licensing Act, whenever you want to venture into trading and manufacturing, you legislation that has just been incorporated in the recent sitting of Parliament 2 weeks ago. So these are some of the acts which will govern investors in Malawi. Next, please. Yeah, so Malawi is a member to a number of agreements, number of international agreements. We have IPPs with a number of countries, and we are also a member of the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency of the multilateral regime, meaning that you'll be protected under those international instruments. Also, any investor can be protected under those international instruments. And at regional level, we have the what we call Southern Africa Development Conference Community, as well as the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, as well as continental level African Continental Free Trade Area. We are members to those configurations, and we abide by the protocols, the continental and the regional protocols. Next, please. So that's the overview in terms of legal framework. At this point in time, I will leave it to the CEO for the operational side of the investors. Thank you. Over to you, Paul.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, Ambassador. Good morning, everybody. All protocols observed. What I'll cover is basically why you should come to invest in Malawi, and then I'll outline quite a number of areas and also talk about different projects that are available in the country. So the main reasons why you should actually consider investing in Malawi is that there's low political risk. The streamlined investment process, we try as much as possible to make sure that once you come here, everything is seamless. Within 7 days, almost everything is done. Enabling and constantly improving business environment. And then, as Mr. Chikhasu also earlier talked about the different arrangements within the region, we've got the regional and international market access, low-cost labor force. They are attracting investment. The next slide, I'll talk more about that. Then the energy sector is focused on renewable, green investment, and we have a quite open, vast, and explored investment opportunities. Next slide, please. Next slide. Well, is it on my side that the slides? Oh, okay, thanks. Then what we've got investment. Incentives actually put according to specific sectors. I'll just briefly talk about some of the tax incentives. We've got general incentives for all priority sectors where a wide range of incentives are available. Let me say that these slides will be shared, so I won't really go into so much details because you can actually go into those later on. And then we've got priority interests in agro processing and power generation. These priority industries will attract up to 10 years tax-free holidays if you reach certain threshold of the investment. And then we've got industrial rebate scheme in manufacturing, where import and excise duty exemptions of raw materials for dedicated manufacturing industries. but VAT pay about 16.5%. Let me say on the onset that the government of Malawi has demonstrated its commitment to encourage private sector-led growth by offering the competitive incentives, which we can provide more so information as a booklet covering all different sectors. Next slide, please. On regarding different areas of investment opportunities, we have what we call ATM. That's our keyword. We're looking at agriculture and all different areas in agriculture, ranging from production to agro-processing, the whole value chain. And we've got tourism and mining. That's ATM, agriculture, tourism, and mining. Those are the main areas which the government is emphasizing. I'll go on to the other enabling factors. But then in agriculture, we've got mega farms where investors can actually go into mega farms, value addition, irrigation, farming, agriculture financing. And then in ecotourism, we can get into different ranges of investment. Ecotourism, construction and management of hotels, water sporting facilities. You might have noticed the lake, Malawi has got a huge lake that covers almost a third of the country. Sports tourism, and in the mining, we've got exploration and mining, where Malawi has discovered a lot of different minerals, precious stones, and all types of minerals. Next slide, please. The other key investment sectors which support the ATM include manufacturing, energy, and infrastructure development. In manufacturing, we're looking at different areas ranging from beverages, pharmaceuticals, fertilizers, light goods, textiles, and garments. And in energy, Malawi wants to improve its provision of energy so that it can support big industries like big investments, including in mining. So we're looking at hydro, solar, wind, geothermal, gas, waste to energy. And in infrastructure development, Malawi is constantly improving its infrastructure in transport sector, water supply systems, and housing, and every other different sector. Investment is encouraged. Let me go to the next slide, please. Well, having looked at different areas of investment, what we've done here is just to have a QR code where if you scan it, you'll be able to see the actual investments that investors can actually come into Malawi to get to invest. So feel free to scan that code. But as I said earlier on, we'll also share this slide. Thank you. This is my actual last slide. Your Excellency and all the participants, I thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. I now leave the floor to Justin Hyman for the Q&A and Frederick Gertz, of course.
Fred, micro.
Yes. Thanks, Guillaume, and thanks to Diamond and Paul for this presentation, which was very clear on the development plan for the country and also the medium-term requirements in terms of implementation and opportunities in the different sectors. Maybe we have an additional question related to those opportunities of investment. Could you maybe precise for some type of industries, would that be agro or energy, and all the subcontractors required for those investments? What are the major investment projects required for the next 2 years, for example?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. In the next 2 years, we're looking at investments that can spur the economic development, support the government goals of 2063. And as I said, in agriculture, mainly the major issues are mega farms, value addition, and irrigation farming. But we're also looking at, for example, trying to substitute our imports. We spend a lot of money importing fertilizer. Would like to have fertilizer production undertaken in Malawi. We would like to have a lot more exports in Malawi. So any agriculture and agro-processing related industries would be key to that particular area. In tourism and related to tourism, there's a lot of required investment in infrastructure development to make sure that the country is able to produce and export different types of services. In mining, the exploration of various minerals, let me just mention some of those minerals that we're interested in and that are available: gold, graphite, uranium, platinum, a group of minerals, base metals. All these are available, and we would like to have investors come in and get into mining. In power related, we would want to have hydro power plants and different other energy sector, energy production investments to support all the other types of manufacturing industrialization as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for those answers and the great presentations so far. Furthermore, we would like to know who are the main business partners and investors to Malawi as of today?
Well, okay. Let me just mention a few there. There are quite a number of investors that have been in Malawi for some time. We're talking about Castel. Castel, they are into production of different beverages, spirits, beer, and all that. And we've got Ilovo. Ilovo is a South African company that has been in Malawi for some time, and they produce lots of sugar, which is sold almost 40%, or about 60% in the country and 40% exported. We've got Bakresha, which is from Tanzania, and they are into soya production. We've got Barrow Logistics. I thought I should mention this. It's basically related, coming from that area. It's from France. We've got Portland Cement. Portland Cement is producing cement for the country, and they're also looking at the markets surrounding Malawi. And we've got Japanese Tobacco International, JTI, which is from Japan, and they are into processing buying tobacco, which is produced in the country for export. We have Malawi Mangoes, that is from UK. They are into production of mangoes and exporting into different countries, either as whole mangoes or as dried mangoes. There is Sungood Food Processing, and that is producing mostly soya-related products. And then we have a new company, Evergrow, which is gone into cannabis production, and mostly that is looking at both industrial and medicinal hemp, and it's coming to that part of the world in Europe. Some of the countries that it's exporting to is Sweden, and other countries in that particular region. Those are some of the few major investors that are in Malawi, and some of these investors are looking at increasing their equity, and they would be interested to discuss with investors to see the possibility of partnership. But there are also all other areas that are open. Macadamia nuts are some of the areas that are open for investors. Thank you.
So just to conclude, any potential investor to Malawi should address their projects to you, Paul.
Yes, exactly. Malawi Investment and Trade Center has got what we call the one-stop shop or one-stop center, where we do everything under one roof. So if you come in to Malawi, you address to us, we'll actually facilitate your entry coming into to Malawi, whether you want to do a pre-study of the market, or you actually deciding to make the actual decision. If you need to meet different people, most of them are available in my office, or we arrange to let you go to different offices. We've got people from Malawi Revenue Authority who actually facilitate your incentives if you decide to invest in Malawi. We've got people from immigration who address your requirements for business residence permits or whatever permits if you make the decision to come to invest in Malawi. We've got Minister of Lands people. If your investment requires some land, we'll actually do it from my office in conjunction with the Minister of Lands. And all other different ministries, we have close collaboration, for example, with Minister of Mining, Minister of Energy, and Minister of Health in case you want to go into pharmaceutical, Minister of Agriculture in case you want to go into agricultural production or agro-processing. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. So it's very clear you have a one-stop shopping with a process facilitator system. So now to go back into details, it seems to be rather easy, as you said, to do business with Malawi. Can you say a word on how long to set up a company in Malawi? Do you have a list of partnership, public-private possible? Is it easy access to banks and financing, for example? These are the starting details, very important for all our members.
Yes, but let me start with the first point which you talked about setting up business in Malawi. We used to have under one-stop service center the registration company, but now they've gone digital. You can actually register a company from wherever you are. You can register a Malawian company from Brussels, where you are, or wherever. And then once you do that, there are several requirements for you that will require. You may have make the decision on the type of investment you want to go into. You apply for an investment certificate with our office, and that investment certificate is that process is available within 7 to 10 days. We should be able to give you that certificate if you've already made the decision about investing in Malawi. If you still in the process of making that decision, will facilitate your inquiries in any way, in a case. It can come through us. If you want to ask questions about agriculture, agro-processing, or mega farms, you come through us and we will make sure that you get all the information as quick as possible. And if you want to come into Malawi, as I said earlier on, as a trip for fact finding, whether you want to go into tourism, you can come through us and we'll be able to deal with the people in tourism. Actually, both tourism, agriculture. They've got master plans as well with different projects. Tourism has actually, last year, it produced a compendium of about 100 projects with about 12 priority projects, which you can browse through. We can provide that information for you to make that decision.
Thank you, Paul. Very clear.
Very clear indeed. Thank you, Paul. Now let's have a question for our counterparts. As you know, the Monaco Economic Board, one of its missions is being the Chamber of Commerce of the Principality of Monaco. So we would like also to ask a question to our counterparts, the Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce, and understand better what your efforts are and your main focuses are.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and everyone present. My name is Chancy Mkandawire from Malawi Confederation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry. The Chamber is a membership-based business association that exists to serve its members through various presentations, lobbying and advocacy for a conducive business environment. We are also involved in trade facilitation. We conduct trade fairs to enhance the linkages between businesses, as well as trainings to build the capacity of our members. So the Chamber represents more than 250 to 300 members, that's annual. And these members come from different sectors. We talk of manufacturing, construction, financial and insurance services, information and technology, tourism, electricity, transport, agriculture, and many more.
Chancy, can you put the video to see you? Hello? Thanks.
Hello.
Thanks.
Yes, so basically what we do, that's what we do as the Chamber.
Thank you very much. Well, now also, could you also let us know what your preferred sectors are, although we've already had a word from on that from Paul, so that we can analyze perhaps relative to Monaco, what sectors of predilection we could, both countries could work on?
Thank you very much. Our preferred sectors are in line with the sectors which MITC presented. We talk about manufacturing, tourism, yes, manufacturing, tourism, as well as agriculture, where we are looking at commercializing the agriculture sector. So basically, they are the same sectors as to what MICT presented.
So we could safely say that some of the sectors we could have synergies with would be energy, renewable energy projects, high-end tourism projects, and perhaps environmental and health projects, which are also government priorities here in Monaco. These could be sectors where we could maybe have partnerships, joint ventures, and investors coming into.
Yes, basically that's what provides the opportunity, because mainly as a country we are trying to diversify the our exports, as it was highlighted in the presentation. The main sector of our exports is agriculture, so we are trying to go into other sectors. So as long as it's a sector which can help us generate forex for the country, that is very welcome for us as the private sector.
Thank you very much, Chancy, for your answers. I guess now we have concluded the questions that we had prepared, and we can now move on to the questions that we have received during the webinar, and there have been numerous. And so the audience have been very interested by the different presentations, and we shall now ask you, if we may, the questions that we have received during the webinar. So perhaps Frederick will start with the first one.
Yes, indeed. And thank you to all of you, because it was really interesting, and we can confirm that by all the questions received by the audience. Maybe a first one, there was quite recently depreciation of the local currency. How can you explain this decision of devaluation? What are the benefits? And maybe also for investors to know when now relative to repatriation of dividends, for example, or equity, is it quite easy through the central bank to acquire foreign currencies to repatriate dividends? So two questions together.
Can I go ahead on that one, Justin?
Please, Paul.
Oh yes, yes, we know and understand about the devaluation, the recent devaluation, which was about 44%, and indeed most people have been concerned about it. However, when we're talking about investing in Malawi, our emphasis is productivity. Now, when you come to Malawi and produce, and then the market in Malawi is 20 million. However, we've got all sorts of relationships with the different countries that your production wouldn't only satisfy the Malawian market, but the market all over. Within the region, we've got the African AFCTA, we've got the SADC agreements where you can sell your products. So anybody coming to Malawi to invest with that productivity wouldn't actually mind about the devaluation. They would actually, it's kind of a plus, because their produce will be competitive in those markets out there, and they'll be able to earn as much Forex as possible, which would not be a problem. However, let me point it out on the onset that if you're coming to Malawi as part of the process of the getting an investment certificate, we request how much money you bring in, and Reserve Bank records that. In that particular case, Reserve Bank puts it as a priority if you want to service your dividends, if you want to service your loan, which is outside, or you want to pay off your dividends to your shareholders. It's taken as a priority. Malawi might have Forex challenges, but you notice that over the years, we've never deferred in servicing our loans. Your Excellency, Dr. Naomi NGWIRA was heading one of those departments in the Ministry of Finance, and she knows pretty well. We've always been good in books. We might have problem Forex challenges, but the money is, we always respect our obligations. So if you come to Malawi with, let's say, $20 million, and it's recorded by Reserve Bank, and 5 years later you want to start servicing your loan, Reserve Bank will give you the priority. That's the Central Bank of Malawi. So in a nutshell, regarding devaluation, I would say that we really look forward to investors. They shouldn't really be bothered about the devaluation, but they should look at the production and the market within and outside Malawi, which can actually boost the Forex to reduce that devaluation in a way. Thank you.
Perfectly clear. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paul. We have now a question relating to mining, which we discussed, what you discussed earlier on in the presentation. We have a question from a potential investor, on mining and what is Malawi's government's knowledge and its position regarding Bitcoin, mining and Bitcoin.
Well, Malawi's position on mining, I should be able to say, because that's one of the priority areas. It's part of the ATM. Relating mining and Bitcoin, that I might have some challenges, but let me just explain on the onset that we have the whole Ministry of Mining headed by a minister, and we are doing a lot of fact-finding of the different minerals in the country. Recently, we were able to find rubium deposits in one place. The assessors who actually did that noted that it's the biggest deposits of rubium in the world in one place. So that's where, in terms of mining, the opportunities are quite open. We've actually mined uranium in Malawi for export purposes, and there are different types of soils, different types of minerals, including potassium. If a company wanted to come to Malawi to produce fertilizer, what we would want is that relationship between production in the country and mining within the country. I'll give you an example. We've got Portland cement that intends to mine clinker. Malawi has been producing cement, but most of the time, there's a component of cement that is required. It's called clinker, and we've usually imported it. Recently, we found out that it's available in Malawi, and we'll be mining it to produce cement, not making cement 100% produced in the country. So what the government is trying to promote is to ensure that a lot of mining takes place, so that most of the things that we are importing should be substituted to be produced in Malawi. The minerals that produce fertilizer should be mined in Malawi and used for the production of fertilizer to improve the imports and minimize minimize the imports and maximize the exports. Thank you.
Thank you again, Paul, for a very clear answer.
Yes, Justine, I think that maybe we could leave now the words to Her Excellence, Mrs. Naomi NGWIRA, to conclude this MEBinaire. Excellence? Are you connected? Or maybe through Richard?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Excellence.
Okay. Wow, thank you so much, every one of you. We are coming to the end of this webinar, and I'm satisfied that we have started a good conversation, which we will take forward. Thank you for being available to take part in this webinar. Thank you, Monaco Economic Board. Thank you, SEMA. And I would also like to thank you for the collaboration with our embassy in Belgium. I'm speaking from Malawi because I'm on leave, but I had to attend this meeting because it's very close to my heart. I trust that something will come out of this. And as you have heard from our CEO of MITC, Paul, is someone that I've known for the longest time, and I trust that he has the right abilities to take on any ideas or any interests from you forward into a fruitful ventures. I would also like to invite you to come to Malawi, because sometimes when we speak, as I've already said, meeting is much more important, but also for you to see what Malawi is like and what is in there. See our big lake with so many possibilities of tourism, which I know Monaco is very strong for. So we have planted the seed today. It will germinate and bear fruits. So we need to nurture it with more discussions. And I will call on the private sectors in our two countries with the facilitation of the board and CIMA and the MITC and the MCCI, that we work together to begin to engage, to exchange information so that we can actually conclude genuine business deals. The embassy in Belgium, we are ready there to facilitate, to hear your inquiries and to give answers and to connect you with MITC and other private sector people. So thank you very much. I will eagerly anticipate positive outcomes of our efforts in the days and the years ahead. Let's stay connected, and may your ventures be both prosperous and fulfilling. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I think it's time to conclude this webinar. I want to thank everybody about their participation. I think we know much more about Malawi now. We saw a lot of questions on the Q&A. So as soon as we can answer to it. And of course, you could find this video on YouTube on Monaco Economic Board. Thank you very much for participating, and I invite you to the next webinar, Collection SEMA, with the Club des Entrepreneurs Monégasques en Afrique. And thank you very much to all our guests from Malawi. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.